Hello everyone and welcome to 5 minute session. Today I will show you how have I created this dashboard in the Data Studio. And if you are new to Data Studio and you want to make some amazing dashboard in the Data Studio, or if you are paying high subscriptions to build dashboards like this, then I must say, stop paying them. You are in a right place. Before taking deep dive in this Data Studio tutorial, let's see what purpose will this dashboard serves to you. First of all, this is totally dynamic sales performance Data Studio dashboard based on a Google Sheet running behind this dashboard. Here is Data Studio Date Range Control, which control every information that present in this Google Data Studio. Let me change a date and select the year 2021. Below you have the total sales, total cost and total profit. And to see what was the pattern of each individual section, you have Data Studio line chart to show you the pattern of each day. Moreover, you have a pie chart here that show you a weekday comparison of sales, that which day you are high in sales and which day you are low in sales. Furthermore is a geo chart to give a graphical view of sales in the Google Data Studio. Then a sales rep performance table, which is actually a pivot table, but how have I converted this into bars with the labels? I will show you later in this tutorial. Last is the product profitability heat map, which is again a pivot table, but we will see later in the Data Studio pivot section. So without wasting any time, let's create this. Okay, here I have the dummy sales data in this spreadsheet, and from there I'm gonna create the dashboard in the Google Data Studio. So first of all, I need to access the Data Studio. So we can access the Google Data Studio by writing the datastudio.google.com. This is my Data Studio interface. Here you have some options like if you are looking Data Studio for beginners, then you have some presets Data Studio reports or the Data Studio dashboards. You can also create different Data Studio sources from different platforms, and you can also share the Data Studio dashboard with anyone, or anyone can share the Data Studio with you, which you can find easily in the Data Studio Share With Me tab. And the stuffs which you have created will be in Own With Me. Here in my case, I want to build the dashboard from scratch, so click this Create button and then the Select Report. So this will be your first interface of Data Studio report. To connect the data in the Data Studio, you have multiple options. Few of them have been given by Google itself to connect the Data Studio with other Google products like Google Ads, Google Sheets, BigQuery, SQL, by uploading CSV file, and many more. Also, you can use the third-party connectors according to your requirement. Let's say somehow you have closed this window and you again want to open this, just click on Add Data and you have the same window. Here I am selecting Google Sheets as a Data Studio connector. Here it brings all the sheets that you have in your Google Drive. You can select any sheet from here, but if you have many sheets in Drive, so you can search the title of spreadsheet. But the most easiest way is copy the spreadsheet URL and then click on URL in the Data Studio and paste that link and you have your spreadsheet. So if you have multiple sheets in your spreadsheet, then those appear in this section. In my case, I have only one, so I will select this and then click on Add. Data Studio will ask you that you are about to add data in this report, so click on Add to Report. Data Studio has already created a table by itself, so we don't need this and just delete it. So spreadsheet has been connected with the Google Data Studio successfully. Now I want to figure either Data Studio has set the format of columns as per sheet or not. Just click on Sources and then click on Manage Added Data Sources. This is Data Studio source which we have added earlier. You can add it, duplicate or remove this source. But here we will go with the Edit option. Here are fields which are actually the columns of the spreadsheet, their type and default aggregation, and if you want to provide any description, so you can also do that. So if I look into total sales, cost and profit, this should not be numbers, this should be currency. Let me change this. But why have I changed this and what's the benefit of changing type? Well, the answer is wherever you're gonna use these fields in the Data Studio, you don't need to change every time. And if you have created whole dashboard already, then just make changes here and that will be applied everywhere. Now let's say if I have created a new column in my spreadsheet data, so will Data Studio incorporate that column automatically? Absolutely not. You have to come here in the Edit Connection in the Data Studio and then click on the Reconnect option, and then Data Studio add the changes of columns in your report. Let's go back and edit the sources again. The most important point comes here, that how you can limit everyone to have their information in this Data Studio dashboard rather than everyone. That's why don't skip this tutorial. If you skip, then you may lose some critical point. So if your data has a column of everyone's email, then you can come here and click on Filter by Email. Click on this checkbox and then select the email field. But we will not cover this topic here because this topic need another session. Okay, let's discuss Data Studio theme and layout. You can select any presets Data Studio themes or you can customize any theme. Here is layout settings of this page. You can select either the Data Studio page should be fit to width or actual in size. Also, you can change the Data Studio page size. If you want to build comprehensive and large reports in the Data Studio, then you can divide your reports in different sections and can create a new page for each section by clicking over here. You can also make a duplicate of existing page or hide any page. Okay, let's set the background of Data Studio because I don't want that my Data Studio has a plain background. So click on Insert and then click on Image. Now click on Select File, or you can also paste the image link, but I already has in my computer. Okay, change the resolution of the page to fit with the resolution of the image. Perfect. Okay, my Data Studio background has been set now. Let's move on to add some headers. We will go again in Insert menu because when you are working in Data Studio, the menu you will use 95% of your time, that is Insert. This time I will select the text box. Now click there where you want to keep that text box. So this is my performance dashboard. So let me quickly write it over here. Whenever you will add anything in Data Studio, then its properties will be appeared on the right side. Text color should be white, text size should be 60, and the font which I like, that is the Roboto. Also this should be bold. The background should be transparent and the borderline should also be transparent. Perfect. Now keep this in the center of the Data Studio page. Because we are creating a sales performance dashboard, one major control that would be needed, that is the date range control. That anyone can easily analyze what was the performance of business on specific day or period. So insert and click on date range control and click there where you want to keep this. Here text size should be 18, font should be Droid Sans, but background should be black with transparency of 50% to make Data Studio page background visible. So click on this small plus icon, choose color black with transparency of 50% and done. Here we can add few more Data Studio controls, but we will keep only this date range control in this dashboard. So if anyone is watching this as a Data Studio tutorial for beginners, then he or she will not get confused. Okay, perfect. My all headers have been set and now I need a divider or a separator to separate my Data Studio page from headers. So click on this icon to add a rectangle shape. Well, actually what you have inserted from Insert menu, you have all that as a shortcut over here in the Data Studio. So let me add the shape here. Now I need to add a line chart to show our daily trend of an item in the Data Studio. So click on Add a Chart icon and then select Smooth Line Chart. Okay, let's discuss few options on the right side that actually base on every item that you want to insert in the Data Studio. So if you will understand this, then you have understand whole Data Studio. My first option is to select a Data Studio source. Let's say if you have added multiple sources in a data studio and you are building a page with the help of those multiple sources. So whenever you will add any item in this page, then you have to select a relevant data source from where you want to populate the information in the data studio. Next option is date range dimension. This option is used to sync your data studio chart with the date range control. So this should always be a date. Next is dimension. This represents x-axis of any data studio chart. And next is drill down. What is this meaning? So if further information can be extracted, like if you consider date, then date can be further drilled down to year and month. But if we consider product, then product cannot be drilled down to further. Next is breakdown dimension, but we will come back to it after discussion of metric. Data Studio has designed metric to show values in the charts. Metric can be one or more. Let me change this to total sales and add total cost. Then you can see Data Studio has converted this line graph into comparison chart. Currently the type of metric is sum. But if you think that this is not sum, this should be average or count, then Data Studio make this very easy for you. You just click on this icon and here you have all the aggregation option. Also, you can change the type, which we have already changed from Data Studio Sources menu. There are two or more options here, but we will back on them some other time. One another exciting feature of Data Studio is optional metric. So if this metric doesn't has anything to show, then this metric came into action. Let's go back to breakdown dimension, which we have left earlier. So here it's representing me the total sales, but I want to break this down further, that from which product I got how much sales. So add product here. Now hover anywhere in the Data Studio chart and you can see breakdown of total sales information product wise, which is amazing. So next is sorting, which is very simple. Just select the metric on basis you are telling Data Studio to sort the data in ascending or descending way, and then secondary sort like optional metric. Then the Data Studio chart filter. Click on add a filter. Named that filter, let's say sales greater than 500. Then what should be include or exclude? In my case, it's include. Select field and then condition, which is greater than 500, and save. Let me remove breakdown. You can see all values we have greater than 500. Before moving further in this tutorial, if you haven't subscribed the channel, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon so that you never miss an update. Let me do some formatting. The line color should be this. Y-axis should show the title. Grid color should be transparent. Background should be black with 50% transparency. Some legend settings. Perfect. Now copy this and paste twice because we need two more charts. Now I will only change metric from sales to cost and profit and also color. Now I need Data Studio scorecard to show the totals. Add charts and then scorecard. Now you can see options are same that we have discussed earlier in this Data Studio tutorial. Metric should be total sales. Let me do some formatting of this. Okay, also I needed two more scorecards for other two Data Studio charts. So I will simply copy and paste this and change the metric and color. Perfect. Now I will add here a Data Studio pie chart to see a weekday comparison of sales. So click on add to chart and then pie donut chart. Here dimension should be weekday to populate each weekday information. Metric should be sales and sort with also total sales. Let's do some formatting of Data Studio pie chart. If you can see from this option, you can increase or decrease the thickness of the donut. Let's add Data Studio GeoChart to see from which country or state we receive how much sales. So I want Data Studio to show country or state according to some color scale in this GeoChart. Let me show you how. Select Style option, and from here we can set high, mid and minimum color scale. So let me add this. Perfect. GeoChart has been set according to color scale. Now I want this Data Studio dashboard to show sales rep performance also. I will add a pivot table here, but before that I need a title here. Okay, now we will add Data Studio Pivot. This Data Studio Pivot exactly same as we use in Google Sheets. Same row dimension, column dimension and metric which is value in the Google Sheet. So my row dimension will be sales rep, my column dimension will be year, and metric will be obviously sales. Also I need grand total as well and sorted with the sales. Now I need bars with the pivot values. Rather than concentrated on numbers, bars will provide complete information on a single glance. For this, let's go into Style. Under Metric section, select the bars and also check this box to show numbers. And also from here you can change bar color. These bars should start at 0 level. Let me do some other formatting with this pivot. Okay, now I want to build in this Data Studio dashboard a product comparison heat map. So by this heat map, I can easily analyze which product is profitable and which product is not. So simply copy the title and pivot and paste again. Now change title to product comparison heat map. Done. Now move to Data Studio Pivot. Here in this pivot, change row dimension to product and metric will be total profit. Now comes in metric section of Style. Change from bars to number. Now we will apply conditional formatting to the pivot table to highlight numbers according to color scale to convert table into heat map. So click on Add Conditional Formatting. Select Color Scale. Select Data Studio field on which formatting will be based. Now I will keep this into percentage for high, mid and low. But you can change as you want. Select color of your choice. It's done. Now click on Save. So this pivot has been converted into Data Studio heat map. Let's fix the arrangements of all Data Studio charts. Perfect, now this sales performance dashboard is ready to use. I will also share Demi Data spreadsheet with you in the description. This is it for today, and in coming tutorials we will discuss more advanced features of Data Studio. Hope you have learned from this Data Studio tutorial, and if you have liked this Data Studio tutorial, then please do like, comment and share, and also subscribe the channel. And we will see you in the next tutorial. Until then, take care, good care. Fearless.